Okay guys, don't flame me with this video. It's the perfect way not to ride off-road. I had the wrong tyres on the bike, wrong tyre pressure, what should have been a fast off-road ride. One I've done many times, turned into a little bit of a nightmare, but hopefully everything's turned out okay. Thanks for watching. So guys, what a difference a day makes. Yesterday, lamping it down with rain, torrential rain here in southern Spain, and today we're out on the Voge 300 rally to explore some trails. Now the ground in Spain is very different from the UK, so when it gets wet, these trails, because of fine dust on the surface, are very waxy and almost clay-like. But the landscape's changed in a short time. Over in the distance, you may not be able to see over there in the distance, all the fields are sort of crimson, red and pink. They're the peach and apricots over in Tyre, and they have coaches going out there to look at the flowers called floración. But you can see in the distance now some of the fields. I don't know if you can see the tinge is changed on the fields. That's the fields that farmers have planted out with cereal crops, grain and wheat, etc. In the off chance that we do get a sudden downpour for a week like we've just had. So I'm going to head down that ravine there. I'm going to turn around and go back. It is quite claggy. They're quite shaly, the roots down the bottom there, so some of it should be okay unless we hit some severe mud. But we'll have a bit of fun and see how we get on. So guys, yeah, I've only done a few kilometres. We've got a bit of mud on the wheels already, but it's fairly dry mud, so we'll see how we get on. Some beautiful places to explore. This is an old, not a mine, well it is a mine, it's an open quarry if you like, and you can see this white rock behind us is a gypsum based rock, and it's the rock they make the local plaster called yeso out of. I'm getting attacked by midges. And what they used to do, they used to get the rocks, dig them out the mountainside, and these two buildings you can see at the side of me would have been wood-fired ovens that they actually heated the limestone rock. I'll try and pick a piece up and you can have a quick look. It's very claggy, powdery rock, and they make a plaster out of it, but that has to be heated in an oven first, which would have been in these ovens here. You can see they're abandoned and ruined many years ago, probably last century I would think. Little building on the corner that probably would have been the main office for this, if it was an office at that time. It would have all been done with donkeys and carts at that time. So guys, off and onwards down into the valley, see where we get to, and explore a bit on the little donkey, as I call it, the burrito. The friends of mine who've got bikes call it the bumblebee because obvious reasons. It's yellow and it's black and silver. What I might do just before we set off, I don't want it to make any difference to you guys, is change the position of this mount. I'll stick that up there. Still can't see over the screen with it, but it may well see through the screen. I'll try that there. So guys, join me on this ride and we'll talk a bit more about the Voge 300. I believe this is the trail going down. Going to be a lot of loose rocks that have washed away on the trail, that have washed across, because we really have had some torrential rain, but I'm hoping it's not going to be too bad and spoil the ride. Check on my mapping which way we're going to go. Straight on according to that, so yeah, quite slippy and claggy, even though we've got the standard off-road tyres that come with a bike on it. It's a strange soil we have here. When it's dry it's like concrete. When it gets wet it really you just sink into it with your boots. You can probably sink in about 3 inches or so. It's strange, very strange, almost like clay, like I've just said. So on these bends now I can feel the back end wishboning. Whoa! Oh. So guys, I'm going to keep recording this purely because these things we need to share with each other, and I've been down many trails, many rough trails on this bike here in Spain over some really technical ground, and I was just saying previously how clay like this soil is. It really is like ice. So came around that bend there, normal line just to miss the puddle, and as soon as the back wheel hit the without any acceleration or anything, we'll have a look back on the footage afterwards, as soon as the back wheel hit the clay there, it just stepped out really quickly. We can see the bike's down here now, and I've just walked over the distance there. It's too big of a burn to get it up over the top here. Went down fairly softly, although I did hit my shoulder. Got a numb shoulder for a second. Nothing seems to be dislocated or broken, but we came down fairly hard. Just check I've got everything still in my pockets, phone still on the bike, all the cameras are on there. We don't know if there's any damage yet, but we'll get the bike up and have a look. So I'll get these gloves tucked away. So it's inevitable, guys, if you've got one of these bikes, you're going to come off. Luckily today I had all my gear on, so the shoulder pad in the helmet, there's a bit of mud on the helmet, I'll show you that later, but the priority now is to get this back out of here and get away from this overly muddy terrain. And I knew, I had an idea it would be like this. It's so I had a Land Rover a few years ago, and even in low ratio and in 4x4 it wouldn't go through any of this ground. It's too claggy and too muddy. Not muddy, it's clay, like I've said before. It's a clay ground. No, I don't think there's any damage to the bike. I hope there's not. Anyway, let's try and get a purchase on it somewhere without dragging any of the plastics. Okay. And although this bike is only 158 kilos, when you get it in the mud like this and you got to lift it up from an odd angle, let's go. Let's put the side stand down first, just in case we tip it over. And we've demolished a tree there, so the bath buster's a bit bent. And I've actually put the steering lock on. That's it. So all we need to do is get the bike running. Okay, then we start because we've got the side stand down. Bath buster on that side's broke. Clutch lever's bent, but brake lever I should say. See if we can bend that back a bit without breaking it. Okay. Oh great, and now we've got the my car pure playing music. So we'll stop that because we don't want music while I'm trying to huff and puff and get this bike out of this mess. I'll pause that. Okay. We have the bike moving. Definitely a good ding on that front brake. Click into first. Okay guys, and even here it's claggy, it's slipping everywhere. Best way to get out of here. Okay, I think I'm going to walk it up there because it's claggy mud. Turn this wing mirror around. You can see the mud where the helmet took a ditch. Okay. Let's have a look first, see which is the easiest way to get out of here. Again, super slippy. It's obviously around that way there, and the bike's capsized in the mud. And one of them days, guys. That's the side stand. Oh yeah. strange thing is the ground does look dry, but you see my boots. Wherever I park it, I kind of rock or something's been under the side stand. Oh guys, let's have a look. So that side nothing. Beak shoved out of place. I don't know whether that's just bent. I can't see anything. It's definitely out of line though. And that's just down to the plastic being bent. Yeah, so I'll go back in place. Alright. Yeah, bath bus this side. You can see there that's come apart. That can be super glued back together. And just pretty much scuffs on the paintwork really, guys. A lot of it will polish out. The decals there have been rubbed off a little bit. Mud on the bars again, it's just mud. So not a bad outcome. So it just shows you guys these tracks and lanes, especially if they're still holding water, they're not like the tracks in the UK. Within seconds of walking stuff, you've already built up quite a layer of mud on your foot, quite a layer of clay, and the intention was to head over towards the mountains. I've done this route many times when it's dry, and it's a beautiful ride to ride. It's very safe. There's some technical bits in the mountains in the back, but today's not going to be one of them, especially having a tumble like that. So I'm going to head back to tarmac and with my tail between my legs, head back to our place, get the jet wash on it, clean some of the crud off. Got a bit of local wildlife stuck to the bike there, and just see what it'll clean up like. I'm guessing that the front mudguard will, through memory, just go back into place. Seems to be moving back into place now. That's fairly straight. There's no cracks in it. The only damage I can see apart from scuffs on the bike is the bath buster on the front brake. Now the front brake lever is definitely bent. Let's give it a tug out without snapping it. A little bit more. Yeah, that's gone back into place, no problem, that's okay. Right guys, with some trepidation we've got to get across that clay again. I can hear a bike coming, so I'm not sure if he's on the main road or down on the track. If he's coming this way, I'll try and slow him down a bit. May well be on the top track, guys. So let's try again. Yeah, brake lever's fine now. That's back in position. So there we go, first tumble. No faults showing anywhere. Let's not come up with any readouts or fuel faults for being tipped over, and it was running fine with being tipped over. There's nothing's come out the tank. And yeah, bit of a downer on the day, but I suppose it's all part of a learning curve. Here he comes. Push bike. And he took the real sideline, the dry line at the side. I'm going to just paddle it through here, guys, try and stay on the stuff at the sides. Oh, really, really muddy. And it's crazy because the throttle on this is quite tame. It's not like, whoops, again, the back end going again. Maybe a lot of it's down to these tyres, the Chinese tyres this bike comes with, I don't know, but even on this stuff now with a bit of gravel on the top, the back end is snaking. And I'm trying to ride a line on the gravel, and I can feel the back end even at these slow speeds it's weaving. Not as badly as it did on that corner where we had the tumble, but you can see that guy's line there on the mountain bike. He's took a steady line through. I'm not sure if they're my tyres or his mountain bike tyres. I'm not going to be caning it back along here now. I know these tyres are clogged up. And you've seen some of my other videos where I've gone across some really technical ground, some big ruts. Yeah, we got some really loose stuff here again. Yeah, a bit of wishboning on the back end. And yeah, where that clay around the corner, it really did kick out. And normally from them positions, especially on dry ground, you pick it up pretty quick and recover fairly quick, but that just really spun it out, so my line was thrown off. It'll be interesting to see the video after. Had a bit of a dead arm, like I couldn't feel my arm for a couple of seconds afterwards, and felt quite strange because I couldn't, when I was moving it, it didn't feel like I was moving it. I was moving it, felt like somebody else's arm. Feels okay now. We get back on the road and get some gloves back on. The last thing I should be doing is riding along this track now without any gloves on in case we do get another spill. Yeah, this is great. This now is normal gravel and shale. Again, I'm not caning it like I normally would be. Still clay on the bends there. This is your normal type track, which is very grippy. There's no problem here whatsoever. It was just that washed out clay mud at the bottom that caused the problem. And I'll just pull up here and get my gloves back on. Make sure it doesn't sink away into the ground there. Time to get a glug of water, I think. So, these tyres, I've heard it said before about these Chinese tyres that are on this, these Tim Sum, that they're not so good in the wet. Normal shaly stuff, the fine wet shale, but this fine dust powder that's on the top here that forms a clay layer, no good at all, to be honest. Okay guys, back at base. Bike's had a jet wash, it's been up to the house, I've jet washed it, cleaned it all up, and surprisingly there's very little damage from the spill on the clay. Down the decal here, down this part here, it's a tiny little scuff there that's barely visible. It looked as if all this was, the plastic was scuffed off, and it was actually just dirt marks that had rubbed across it. The crash bars, nothing on the crash bars. Front end's okay. Where the front mudguard took a bit of a turn, slight bit of scuffing on the paint there, very little. Hardly nothing if it needs touching up. Just a bit of silver paint dabbed on there will conceal it so you'll never see it. The only one part that copped it was the bark buster here, which I've super glued back in place for now. I'll probably order a better set of bark busters, proper aluminium ones that are going to give it a bit more strength, because when that did crack and go, it bent the front brake lever back. Fortunately, it's quite mild aluminium, and I was able to bend that back into place no problem, so it's back where it originally was. So yeah, no real damage guys, apart from a bit of dented pride, but stupidly I knew the condition of these trails with the dust clay on the top. I've experienced it before with cars and different vehicles, so I was quite aware of it, and I think I mentioned it on the video before I set out that it may have been a problem. But yeah, she's cleaned up okay guys. Got all the crud and mud from underneath everywhere, cleaned it up. So we live and learn. Maybe a rookie mistake, and maybe my own mistake knowing that the trails are so slimy. And again, it may be down to these tyres, looking at them in more depth. The detail across the back, there's not a lot of sideways grip on them. The grip tends to run across a full width, and it did cut loose pretty quick, that, and kick me off. So it'll be interesting to see when I edit the video and put it together. I'm expecting a plethora of comments. the usual ones where, you know, learn to ride, etc, etc. But I can assure you, I've been out many times on some very technical trails on this and my DRZ 400 previously, but never in after torrential rain when we've got the slime and the grease on the trails. So I'll piece this into the other video, and thanks for watching, and take care guys on the roads, especially if you're riding on clay soil like I was, especially with these tyres that are on the bike. These Timsons may well be worth updating these in the future to a better, more aggressive tile for the trails I'm riding. So guys, thanks for watching again, and hope you enjoy the video.